The ego is the part of you that doesn't want to grow. The ego is a part of you that doesn't want to see you expand and do better. The ego wants you to stay stuck in your ways. Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Melissa the Divine, and today's video is going to be about letting go of your ego, releasing self-doubt, and aligning with your higher self. Whew. Took me a little bit to come up with that title, so I'm proud of myself. I feel like I've just learned a lot spiritually, emotionally, and mentally within the last few years that I wanted to share that with you guys. And the best way that I could wrap it up nice is that I've learned to let go of my ego. I'm learning to release self-doubt, and I feel like I'm aligning with my higher self. So I broke this down into 3 categories: mental, emotional, and spiritual. So I'm gonna get into ways that you can release doubt, let go of your ego, and find your higher self within each of these categories. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video, and give this video a thumbs up if you do enjoy it, and comment down below if you guys can relate or you understand or you've learned anything from this. And yeah, these are just tips that have helped me grow mentally, spiritually, and emotionally overall. I'm gonna start with mental first, and if I look down, I'm just looking at my notes. First things first that I can say when it comes to releasing your ego, observing your thoughts rather than judging them. And what this means is, like, basically take time sometimes to sit and just like let your mind wander, let your intrusive thoughts come in, and let them do what they do, okay? I'm someone who has the wildest intrusive thoughts. Like, I'll be driving on the highway, minding my business, jamming to my music. I'm like, ooh, what if I just like did like 9 flips off the side of this highway right now and like landed on the hood of my car? I'm happy, I'm enjoying life, y'all, don't worry about me, I'm good. But it's the fact that my brain even thinks that is, for one, wild, but for two, it's something my brain thinks. It's not like I'm genuinely going to ever do that. I would never flip my car purposefully off the side of the highway. But my point is not to judge myself for thinking that way, but to kind of just sit there and be like, I kind of like chuckle at my thoughts now sometimes, because it's like, why would I think something so extreme and just over the top? And when you observe your thoughts more, it allows you to just kind of see, these are the thoughts that are coming up for me. I think lots of negative thoughts, or I think lots of judgmental thoughts. Instead of judging it, you just observe it and allow it to flow, so you can figure out where your head is at and what your mental is like. For me, I realized I expect the worst outcome, and that's why when I'm driving on the highway, going fast, minding my business, my mind even wanders, because I think of the worst outcome when I'm in situations like that where my life could possibly be taken. On the road, in planes, when I'm in planes, I think about, ooh, what if the plane just crashed right now and we all die? So observing your thoughts rather than judging them just allows you to figure out where your mind is at, and then you can go from there and start to align more with what it is that you actually want to think about. Once you realize, maybe I think a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of thoughts that are based in fear, you can start to categorize your thoughts and realize, okay, this is just an intrusive thought. This isn't the truth. These are just thoughts that come up for me. And you can start to challenge that ego and that doubt. The ego is the part of you that doesn't want to grow. The ego is a part of you that doesn't want to see you expand and do better. The ego wants you to stay stuck in your ways. It wants you to keep doing what you've been doing and repeating the same cycles. Letting go of it is observing your thoughts and not judging them, not being like, what's wrong with me? Why would I think that? No, I can observe that thought and understand I just have intrusive thoughts. It doesn't mean that that I need to go seek help. It's just that, okay, you have these intrusive thoughts sometimes. Let's figure out where they come from. And like I said, they come from me expecting the worst. Second tip that I have for mentally letting go of your ego and releasing doubt is recognizing limiting beliefs. This is huge, because limiting beliefs are just those thoughts and beliefs that you have that make you think you're not worthy or that you can't accomplish certain things. For example, I think I have a limiting belief around my happiness. I feel like if I get too happy, that if something bad happens, it's gonna hurt much worse. So, and I'm sure other people have this fear too, but I just feel like, ooh, sometimes I'm scared to get too happy or too excited about certain things, because I expect, once again, like my first thing, I expect the worst. I expect bad things to happen. So I'm afraid to get too happy, or I think it's not safe to be too happy, because if I'm this level happy and I fall, I only fall this far. But if I'm this level of happy and I fall way harder and I crash. That's my mentality, but that's a limiting belief. Like, I can be happy and stay happy for years. The limiting belief is that if I'm happy, something bad will happen. That's a limiting belief. That's just an example. So me being able to acknowledge that allows me to recognize in moments when I'm happy and things are going good to say, girl, enjoy this. Instead of, well, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen, I just sit and I enjoy my happiness and my joy, because I understand that that is a limiting belief. I know now when I hear that voice in my head that's like, girl, don't get too excited, blase, blase. I'm like, I know that's a limiting belief. And that comes with observing your thoughts. Like I said, the ego wants you to think you're not worthy of certain things. So that's why you have to dismantle those beliefs, understand this is a limiting belief. And sometimes you gotta tell the ego, shut up. When you hear that voice that's like, ooh, but girl, you shouldn't, just be like, shut up. I already know what you're trying to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just shut that ego up, shut those limiting beliefs up, acknowledge them, and it'll take time, but you will start to demolish them completely. Next tip is shadow work. This is like the biggest one probably. I really recommend doing shadow work, and I'll put some prompts of some shadow work prompts on the screen right now if you guys want to screenshot these. I recommend trying like one a day, so try to separate these out into days. Ask yourself these questions and answer them honestly, and I would say do one at a time, because these can be really heavy or loaded questions. But these just help you realize that part of yourself you don't like to acknowledge, the part of yourself that you've buried, the part of you that's hurting and probably causing a lot of problems in your life, but you don't acknowledge it because it's existing within you on a subconscious level, right? So you can't actually, you're not fully aware of this thought process going on. You're not aware that this thing that happened so long ago is still affecting you and still hurting you to this day. So shadow work just kind of exposes that dark side, exposes the side you don't want to acknowledge, brings it to the light so you can deal with it. Next tip, not comparing yourself to others. This is huge. When you compare yourself to other people, you're either putting yourself down or you're putting the other person down. Ego exists in extremes. There's no in between. There's no flow. There's no ease with ego. It's either one side of the spectrum or the other. The side of the spectrum that believes you're worthless and that you have nothing good to bring to the table, and the side of the spectrum that thinks you're better than everybody and you can do everything better, and you judge everyone for every little thing because you think you're so perfect. Both, these are two sides of the same coin, essentially. So notice when you get into either of those extremes that that's most likely your ego coming in. Call into your higher self to say, hey, either uplift yourself or humble yourself, okay? The ego thinks it's me against everybody, but comparing yourself is either tearing you down or tearing the other person down, and there is no need for that. You will save yourself so much mental anguish and negativity when you stop doing that. Next up is accepting yourself for who you are. This one is also huge. Accept yourself as you are, whether you love yourself or you don't. If you don't love yourself, accept the fact that you don't love yourself and take the necessary steps to get there. You don't feel like you've accomplished enough, whether it's that you think you're ugly, whether it's that you think you're not good enough. Accept where you're at right now, accept where your circumstances that you've had from the past, accept everything as it is because it's happened, okay? But the future isn't written yet, so you have an opportunity to change that. But once you accept yourself, you will start to see how capable you are. See that you're the good sides of you as well as the bad. Acknowledge yourself as a whole, accept yourself as a whole, and you will stop being so self-critical. If you ever find yourself in a very self-critical state, just take the time to be like, okay, I accept myself. I accept myself for who I am. Because at the end of the day, whether you don't feel pretty enough, whether you don't feel successful enough, you are enough, period. Just for existing on this earth, you are enough. Accept that, understand that, and move forward as you need to. Now we're gonna jump into how to align with your higher self, release doubt, and let go of your ego spiritually. My first tip is meditation. Meditating often is 10 out of 10 one of the best things you can do, and I feel like for me it's a huge ego battle. Like, come on, there's so much more you could be doing right now. You need to go be productive, you need to go do this, you need to go do that. That's my ego trying to distract me from connecting with myself. It wants me to exist outside of myself. But when you meditate, you have that time to go within and see how you're doing, reflect on your feelings, your mentality, to give yourself uplifting messages, to love on yourself. Meditation will really help you fight off that ego because you get to hear your thoughts. You get to hear how your mind is working, and you can once again pick apart those negative thoughts from those positive thoughts, pick apart the truth from the lies within your mind when you meditate. And it helps just ground you, relax you, and calm you, and release that ego that wants you to be always productive. We don't always have to be productive, but when do I have the time to really connect with myself? Next tip that I have is knowing that you are provided for, knowing that you are always taken care of. The ego loves lack. The ego loves to feel as if you have nothing, you have no one on your team, you have no one there to support you, there's nothing going good for you. Once you believe that you are truly provided for, once you believe that there is support beyond what you can see with your physical eyes, once you believe that fully, you will let go of that lack mindset. You will let go of feeling inadequate or feeling that you don't have enough. Once you truly feel that you are always provided for, that there are beings working behind the scenes in your best interest, you can really let go of those fears, and you can let go of that Anxiety that wants you to always push yourself to the limit. You push yourself to the limit out of fear that the work you're doing isn't enough. Feel the support that's around you and accept it. Next tip that I have is to surrender. Surrendering is letting go. I do this whenever I manifest or I have desires that I want. I'll put my manifestation into the universe and I will surrender, let it go, and let it be. Something that happened recently for me, I didn't do this on purpose, it's kind of just happened. I posted a TikTok and I was like, okay, I feel like this will do pretty good. I feel like this will low-key blow up. I posted it and then I needed storage on my phone, so I ended up deleting TikTok, the app, altogether. So I see my friend a few days later. My friend's like, okay, I see you TikTok famous now. I see you. And I'm like, shut up. Like, what are you even talking about? And I had deleted the app, so I didn't know. He's like, I saw you on my For You page. Like, your shit blew up. I was like, what? What are you talking about? He shows me on his phone, my TikTok got 50,000 plays, okay? And to me, that's a lot. That's the most I've ever gotten. So I'm like, what? No way. Like, I completely ignored the app. I completely just let it go. I wasn't even thinking about it. And that's when my shit blew up. So think of it in that way. Like, surrender. Know that there are forces going on behind the scenes that will do part of the work for you. You got to do the majority of the work, but it's not all up to you. There are forces working in your favor behind the scenes to make this shit shake for you. So keep that in mind and just surrender. Sometimes let go and say, hey, it's above me now. Some things are just above you. Put in the work as much as you can, but don't overdo it. Next tip that I have is trust. Trust in yourself, most importantly. The ego loves to think that nothing is trustworthy. The ego loves to second guess your decision. Learn to trust yourself first, and then it will be so much easier to trust other people. Because if you don't trust yourself, you're not going to trust that other people are going to be there for you. If you can't trust yourself to show up on time and get your work done and do this, do that, you're not going to trust somebody else to do it. There's a point in time when I trusted my parents more than I trusted myself. Why? Because my parents are consistent. Because my parents cross all their T's and they dot all their I's. So I trust them so much because they're always on top of their shit. I'm someone who didn't always cross my T's and didn't always dot my I's. So I trust them more and I would trust their opinions on certain things more. And so I realized, wait a minute, I need to trust myself, trust my intuition. I had to realize, dang, Melissa, sometimes you don't have your best interests at heart and that's why you don't trust yourself. Think about that for a minute. Sometimes you don't have your best interests at heart and deep down you can't trust yourself because you be fucking yourself over. Okay. Next tip that I have is believe that you are a goddess. Believe that you are a god. Lowercase g, before anybody tries to fight me. I am a divine being. I was put on this earth for a reason. I am a spiritual being. When I remind myself of that, I think of the world so differently. I have a spirit. I have a soul within me. I'm not just this body. There's more to me. When you realize that you are a lowercase g, once again, God or goddess, you can see that, wow, we're all valuable. You'll see the value and the divinity in yourself, and then you will begin to see the value and divinity in others. Lastly, for spiritual ways to align with your higher self, let go of doubt and let go of the ego, is to express gratitude. This one really helps me because expressing gratitude just allows you to be thankful for all the good that is happening, gratitude for the little things you have. And I do this every day in my morning gratitude journal. I'll express 3 things I'm grateful for. And sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't think of anything today, but it makes me think of the little things. I'm so happy and grateful I have food in my stomach and a comfortable place to sleep. I'm so happy and grateful I just got paid today. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm getting my education. I'm so happy and grateful that my mom is happy and she's healthy. Whatever it is, expressing that gratitude really helps you to let go of the ego that feels as if nothing good is going for you and that feels as if your life is just a shit show. Expressing gratitude is like, wow, there are good things in my life. My life is valuable. Last category we're going to do is emotional. Don't be afraid of your feelings. Allow yourself to feel how you feel. If you feel like crying, just cry. Don't be like, what's wrong with me? What? Cry and then figure out why you're crying later. There's moments when you have to put on your big girl pants, wipe the tears, and get to work. But I'm talking about if you do that every single time you have an emotion, cover it up, you don't allow yourself to feel it, you're going to lose yourself. You're not going to understand why you feel how you feel. Okay? Sometimes you have good feelings, sometimes you have bad. Don't be afraid of the bad ones because half the time it just requires a few minutes of your attention, a few minutes for you to just sit there, hear it and feel it, and it will pass. You can align with your higher self by understanding, why do I feel so bad when I do certain things? Why is it that I feel good when I do these things? You'll be able to align more with the things that make you feel good and let go of what doesn't. Feelings are meant to tell you something. Your feelings come up for a reason to let you know what is going on inside you. So do not bury them. Let yourself feel them. The last tip is manifesting. So when you're manifesting something, when you say that you have a desire, when you say you want to be the best version of yourself, it's not about just visualizing it mentally. because manifestation is a mental thing, but it's also an emotional thing. So when you have a desire, feel what it would feel like to actually accomplish the thing it is that you want. Whatever it is that you really want, imagine what it would feel like to truly get it. Visualize it in your head and embody that feeling. Once you learn to really alchemize your feelings and embody the feelings that you want, you'll understand that your feelings are power and that you are capable of manifesting anything into your life. That is my last tip, you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you got something from it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below if you can relate to anything that I said. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and comment down below any other videos you guys would like to see from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really loved filming this. I'll see you guys in the next one. We can get away, come chase beach views and every day. All I wanna hear is